We are Boston University Summer Term High School Programs Office. We're going to spend the first 30 minutes today telling you about all of the exciting programs we have to offer this summer, and then we'll break into individual Zoom rooms where we will tell you a little bit more detail about the individual programs that we have this summer. So I'll start off by telling you who our team is that we have here today. My name is Amanda Kautzman. I'm the Associate Director in the Summer Term Office. And I'll let my colleagues, Christina and Karina, introduce themselves next.
I'm Karina. I am the Program Manager for our Summer Challenge and Summer Preview programs.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Ovages and I am the Program Manager for High School Honors, which is our only credit-bearing program. And I'm looking forward to this presentation and also the summer.
Okay. Yep.
Great, so I'll just start off by telling you a little bit about Boston University. So as you probably all know, these are Boston University summer term high school programs, which means that we are really proud of being part of BU. And it means that all of our instructors are Boston University instructors who teach all of our programs. So Boston University itself is an internationally recognized, highly ranked research institution located in the center of Boston, which is a city of innovation, education, commerce, and culture. So even though all of our programs are remote this summer, we are really going to focus on that connection to BU and on BU's connection to Boston in the remote programming that we provide for people. So BU itself has 16,000 undergraduates, 2,700 of which are full-time faculty, 300 programs of study. So it's a huge university with a bunch to learn, and we really try to reflect that in the diversity of subjects and opportunities within our pre-college programs. BU is ranked number 42 among national universities and number 51 among global universities. And it has been the alma mater of Nobel and Pulitzer Prize winners, MacArthur Geniuses, and Guggenheim Fellows. So we're very proud to be a part of BU. So what are our high school programs, right? So we are not Boston University's undergraduate admissions office. We are a separate office that runs summer term programs for current high school students, current and rising high school students. And what do we offer? What are these programs? We offer a really wide range, as I mentioned before. So we offer 1, 2, 3, 6, and this summer even some 7-week programs. And this summer, as I mentioned, all of our programs will be remote. So that's a university-wide decision by Boston University that our campus will be closed to minors for the summer. So that's why our programs will be remote and will stay remote this summer. But as I said, we're really excited to think about how to still make all of our summer programs really feel like a part of Boston University. Our programs will be synchronous remote programs. So as you think about the programs that you learned about today, keep in mind that the times we mention are local Boston time, and everyone will be expected to participate simultaneously in these programs, which for the most part happen during the day in local Boston time. There are some exceptions to that, which we can go over more in depth later, and some opportunities for international students in particular for some more flexible time zones, but for the most part, synchronous during the day, Boston time. And as Christina mentioned, she is the program manager for our only credit-bearing high school program. So we do have one program that offers you the option to earn college credit. The rest of our programs are non-credit and are not graded. So that's kind of the difference between those two programs. And we offer programs for a really wide range of students. So everyone from current 7th graders to current high school juniors will be eligible for one or more of the programs that we offer. And who attends our programs, right? So there's a wide age range, as I mentioned, but also a lot of other groups of students. So we have students from all 50 US states typically in our summer programs and 87 different countries around the world. So I really think that's one of the most exciting parts of our programs. To me, at least, they really offer you a chance to meet students who you wouldn't meet at your local high school, students from across the world, across the country. They allow you to explore your academic interests and preview college life. So as I mentioned, Boston University offers a huge range of programs, and we really try to reflect that. We really think of our summer programs as a chance for you to start to explore what you might want to dive into deeper once you get to college, and just kind of think it through before you get there and try things out, as well as kind of try out what college life is like, both extracurricularly and also in terms of how do you manage your time? How do you have a small group discussion seminar? Just really feel prepared for by the time you do get to college. And to enjoy a really wide range of remote social activities as well. And that's part of the time management aspect and the college life aspect that we're trying to give you a taste of as well. So what are our actual programs, right? We offer 5 different pre-college programs. Again, all of them will be remote this summer. Our programs are in order from the shortest for the youngest students to the longest for the oldest students. We offer Summer Preview. It's a 1-week program for our youngest students. Summer Challenge is a 2-week program for the widest age group range of students. Academic Immersion is a 3-week program for rising juniors and seniors. High School Honors is a 6 or 7-week program. That's our credit-bearing program, also for rising juniors and seniors. And then we won't really talk about this, but we do offer Research in Science and Engineering, which is a program for rising seniors. That program has closed applications already for this year, but anyone who's interested in thinking about applying for it next year, you'll have a chance to ask questions of the program manager later on. All right, so we can go a little bit more in depth into each of these programs. And again, at the end of this presentation, if you hear about something you're really interested in, you'll have a chance to go into a different Zoom with that program manager to learn even more about that particular program and to ask some questions. So as I mentioned, Summer Preview is for our youngest students, so rising 8th graders, freshmen, and sophomores. And what we mean when we say rising is next year you will be. So that would be current 7th graders who will rise into 8th grade next year. Current 8th graders and current 9th graders can apply for Summer Preview. It's 1 week long, and it offers a chance to get a sneak peek of the college experience by diving in depth into one seminar in a topic of your choice. So we offer 3 different topics: creative writing, finding your voice, discovering biology, building blocks of life, and introduction to business, investing in your future. So you'll take that class in the morning and in the afternoon if you do Summer Preview. Summer Challenge is our largest program in terms of the number of students, and it's for the widest age range of students. So rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors, again, that would be current freshmen, sophomores, and juniors can apply for Summer Challenge. Summer Challenge is a 2-week program. So it's a bit longer than Summer Preview, and it also allows you to take 2 different seminars out of a list of 20 options. So we really think of Summer Preview as a chance to expand, Summer Challenge as a chance to expand your academic horizons and to kind of try out 2 different subjects. So you might think, maybe I want to go into STEM in college, but I'm also really interested in writing. Well, in Summer Challenge, you could take a STEM course and a writing course and just kind of see how that feels to you, which one is more compelling to you. Or you could say, I know I want to be a doctor, and you could take 2 different STEM seminars that both kind of connect to pre-medical fields. So it offers a lot of flexibility, a lot of chances to explore new subjects.
Great. So I will describe the Academic Immersion Program, or what we call it AIM. AIM is a 3-week program for rising juniors and seniors, so current sophomores and juniors in high school. And this is really for students who want to spend 3 weeks deep diving into a subject that they already think they have a real interest in and might want to study further when they go to college. So we have 4 different tracks or subjects that you can study in the AIM program. Our first is Introduction to Medicine. The second is Introduction to Experimental Psychology. The third is Creative Writing. And the fourth is a new program we're really excited to pilot this year called Global Studies, Security, Statecraft, and Spycraft. So for this program, as I mentioned, we're looking for students who really are show an interest in one of these subjects and want to deep dive in it for those 3 weeks to kind of learn a little bit more about what it might be like to study one of these at a university like BU.
All right, I'm going to go over high school honors, which, as we mentioned, is our only credit-bearing program. It is a program that gives the opportunity to high school students to take college courses along with BU undergraduate students. So it's open to rising seniors and exceptional rising juniors. We say exceptional because, again, you're going to be in a classroom with BU undergraduate students and you're going to be expected to perform at that level. So we're really looking for students who are challenging themselves by taking the most rigorous curriculum available to them. Oftentimes that is AP, IB, or honors courses. It is a 6 or 7 week long program depending on the course that you take. So this summer we are offering courses in Summer 1, which starts on May 24th, and Summer 2, which starts on July 6th. So you definitely have options. It's a little bit flexible. Make sure to look at the course descriptions and also the date range to make sure that it works and it fits with your schedule. You can choose from more than 80 college courses. So in the slide, you'll see different areas of study. It's really for students who are interested in STEM, humanities, arts, you name it. We likely have a course in the subject, but it ranges from African American studies, as you can see here, all the way to writing. And the big benefit of participating in high school honors is that you get to earn college credit. You'll hear me say this again, but most colleges and universities in the US will accept credit for a course in which a student earned a C or higher. So it's definitely a great way to show that you can handle the rigor of college academics. With that, I'll turn it over to Amanda to kind of go over the frequently asked questions.
Great, thanks, Christina. So, I'll also mention that in addition to all of the academics that we really, focus on in these programs, there are a wide variety of social programs which we're working on for this summer to make sure that we can round out this experience. So we are doing everything we can to try to recapitulate what the in-person experience, if you were here in Boston living in the dorms with us, might be like. And we have some really fun and exciting things planned for the summer to substitute in addition to all of our academic offerings. So I've sort of divided these frequently asked questions into 2 different sections. The first is just common questions that we get very often, either on people calling in the phones or when they write in by email or when we go to school fairs. And this, some of you may already know the answers to these and some may be thinking, oh, I didn't even think about a question like that. So we'll go over a couple of those. And then on the next slide, we'll discuss specific questions that were submitted by you ahead of time when you RSVP'd to this event. Then we'll have an opportunity in the remainder of this half hour for anyone else who has general questions about all of our programs to ask them before we go into our individual rooms to talk about the specific questions, the specific programs themselves. So the first question we kind of answered for you already a little bit. How do I know what program is the right fit for me? Well, there's a couple of different ways that you can know. It could have to do with what grade you're in school, because as we mentioned, that is prohibitive to being able to apply to some programs and not others. It could also have to do with what subject matter you're really interested in. As Karina alluded to before, if STEM is something you might think you want to do and maybe go pre-med in college, we have offerings for that in almost every single one of our programs, where for some other ones, there might be a specialization that really is only offered in 1 or 2 of them. So there's kind of a few different things you can look at in addition to that, depending on what your summer schedule looks like, what dates work for you, how long you want to come for. These are all things that you can kind of consider holistically. The next question we get a lot is there a deadline to apply? For some of our programs, yes, and not others. So of these 4 programs we're talking about today, there is only 1 program that has a strict deadline that's left, and that is the high school honors program. All 3 of our other programs have rolling admissions, which means we will accept applications until those tracks or seminars are full. In many instances, we'll ask students to provide a second option or track of what they might be interested in, so that if your first choice was full, we could offer you a spot in one of those other subjects. Next, students ask us all the time, will this look good on a college application? We do not work directly with Boston University admissions. What we will say is that we know that for, especially for our programs that are credit bearing, but also for our non-credit bearing programs, these are all academic programs in which students are spending their precious time over the summer wanting to come and learn with us. We know that you have lots of other options of things to do during your summer. So it is always a benefit to be able to show that you're really interested in a particular subject and that you spent some of your extracurricular time wanting to further that. Especially shows an interest in Boston University as a whole, and the fact that you can handle the academic rigors of a university like this. Can international students attend? Yes, we're happy for international students to attend all 4 of these programs that we're accepting applications for. Is there a cost associated with attending these programs? There is. All 4 of these programs do have a cost associated with them. It varies based on the program, and we can provide individual information about that in individual sessions or on our website. But all of the tuition for this year has been adjusted to reflect being a remote program, so that has removed room and board costs. There is also limited financial aid available for our longer 6-week programs, which is high school honors in this instance. So what do I need in order to apply? Well, for all of our programs, you at a minimum are required to submit a personal statement and give us your full high school transcript from what you have so far, depending on what grade you're in. Then for some of our other programs, namely high school honors and academic immersion, we do also require recommendations from 1 or 2 teachers. As Christina mentioned for high school honors before, we also are looking at your transcript to see that you've taken particular types of courses for that program. For our shorter programs, Summer Challenge and Summer Preview, you're not required to submit recommendations and don't have to have any particular prerequisites or information on your transcript. But we will make sure that students in all of our programs are up to meet the academic rigor of that individual program and what would be required. And then a question that has come up more recently, given our move to remote, are there technology requirements needed to attend remotely? We just ask that students have access to a computer, laptop, or tablet that can run particular types of software depending on the program they're in, and a stable, reliable internet. We would love it if students had access to a camera and they wanted to engage with other students in their classroom as well. But if there are specific technological difficulties that students have, we'll work with them to make sure that we're able to have you be a part of the program in every way that you could. Perfect. So these are a couple of questions that came up from submissions from all of you. So someone asked, how can I stand out as an applicant to your programs? And that's a really great question. I sort of alluded to this before and mentioned that each of the programs is looking for something slightly different. So in some instances, we're all looking for applicants who really show us in their personal statements that this is the program that is going to, that appeals to them the most and give them the most opportunities for what it is that they want to do. So we definitely are looking for students who can explain that well in a personal statement. There are also transcript requirements that we have depending on the program. So, really the admissions committee for each program is getting together to kind of holistically look at your entire application, and we'd be happy to work with any individual applicant who has questions about what requirements they might need for the particular program that they'd like to apply to. The second question I kind of answered a little bit before, will attending these programs help me get into BU? The really strict short answer is no, not directly. We do not talk to admissions in a way that we will say if a student applied to one of our programs, they automatically will get into Boston University. However, like I mentioned, there are, there's lots of opportunities to showcase what it is you're doing in your high school years that will be a good indicator of how you might do in college. And if you showed an interest in Boston University and our academic programs ahead of time, that is always helpful for admissions committees to know. And we recommend that students put that information on their applications. In lots of instances, students who do well in their courses can get letters of recommendation from their instructors to help them apply to college, to BU or other colleges. So what do students like about your high school programs? We, in general, lots of students who apply to our programs are ones that have an interest in coming to a big urban campus like Boston University. While that's absolutely not required, we like to think that we are a good representation of the greater university as a whole. So, I think we really try to think about how students will get to know a diverse community of other students within their programs. We love to hear from alumni each year who stay in touch with students they met through the programs, and then we'll say, oh, I did this program with the student last year, and now we decided to be freshman dorm mates together at the university that we went to. So, our programs are known for their academic rigor. We really want students to make sure that they are fully getting a great experience in the subject matter that they're interested in, but also having fun while they're doing it. We want you to meet other students. We want you to meet our staff. We want you to interact with Boston University undergraduates who will serve as your program assistants to get to know what life might be like at a college like this, or just in college in general. As we mentioned before, there will not be any in-person activities for this summer, and that was mandated by the university as a whole. What will daily life of students be like during these programs? This varies from program to program. We will discuss this in much more detail in each of our individual rooms. As Karina mentioned, most of the programs are synchronous. So your activities will be happening during the day in Boston local time. And but we've adjusted the times as much as we can to have offerings that are just as doable for students who live here on the East Coast as students who might live on the West Coast of the United States or have different offerings abroad. So for all of these programs, there will have multiple sessions or multiple courses that occur sometimes during different parts of the day. And then we will have offerings in the evenings for social activities for students to get to know one another, both within their program and across other programs. And we can tell you we're still really right in the middle of planning what all of our exciting social activities will be for the summer. But we ran a bunch of remote social activities last summer that went really well, and we're really excited to run those again. So we're going to host activities such as trivia nights. We're going to do a meditation and yoga session. We always have a session with Boston University admissions where that office will come and tell you about what that process is like. We have both academic and sort of fun activities for you. So we have some writing workshops that are provided by different centers at Boston University. And then we'll have, movie nights and activities such as that. We're also always open to hearing suggestions on what students last year liked and didn't like, and we're taking all of that kind of into our planning for this coming summer. So stay tuned for those exciting options. So last, we have about 5 minutes left in this session. So I will end it by saying this is just a really kind of broad sweeping overview of what all of our programs are. We'd be happy to go into more detail with any one of you who have specific questions, either in the following sessions right after this or by email. if you'd like. So you can contact our office at the email listed here. We also encourage you to go on our website that's listed right here. All of this information I mentioned is on there in some place or another. And we have individual pages for all of our programs, and then sub-pages that will tell you everything from tuition to what the calendar is, to frequently asked questions that I didn't get to today. And we would love it if you followed us on social media. We have our links here for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we have lots of videos on YouTube in which you can see kind of testimonials from past students who enjoyed the program. So with that, I will open it up in the last 5 minutes to see if anyone has questions. If you want to put them in the chat, that would probably be the easiest way to do it. And then when these 5 minutes are up, we will move into the other rooms, in which right at the end of the session, we will put those links in the chat so that you can go directly to those. And each one of us will tell you a bit more about the individual programs. Thank you.
So if there are no other questions right now, I can go ahead and put those links in the chat. If you do have a question in the next 4 minutes, we won't move into those rooms for a few more minutes. So feel free if something comes to you to ask it. Oh, we got a question. So for the high school honors, are you specifically taking these classes for BU, or can you still receive those credits and use them for other colleges? So that's a question for Christina.
Yeah, that's a great question. If you attend BU as an undergraduate student, then it will for sure count, and it'll be part of your permanent transcript. If you decide to attend another college or university, totally acceptable, then you could still earn credits as long as you request a transcript and send it over. I would always check with the school that you may attend for confirmation in terms of how they handle credits, because each school is slightly different, but most colleges and universities will accept BU credit that you took as part of the high school honors program.
We also got a great question, which was, can you apply to multiple programs?
So you can apply to multiple programs, but we don't recommend it. We always, you have to write a personal statement for each of the programs, and even though they're different admissions committee, we want you to apply to the program that you are most interested in and that really resonates with you. A lot of our programs have opportunities to be considered for another program. So if, for example, you apply to high school honors, but you are deemed to be a better fit for, let's say, summer challenge, there are possibilities to be alternately admitted to that program. So we don't recommend it. Yes, it is possible, but it's not encouraged.
All right, we did get a question about RISE. So I'm gonna ask if you have questions about RISE that you go to the academic Immersion breakout. Amanda manages both of those programs. So while that breakout will focus on academic immersion, if there's extra time during that, she will be happy to answer more specific questions about the RISE program. Do we get extra credit if we are already taking AP and honors classes in high school? Do you mean, I'm going to assume that you mean, do you get extra credit in terms of your application? And we certainly take that into account. So we take the rigor of the courses that you're taking in high school into account for all of our programs. And as Christina mentioned, for high school honors in particular, we do look very closely to see that you are have proved yourself capable of that type of college level work in your high school classes. It's a great question, Shannon, thank you. All right, great. So I feel like we're right about at the end here. It doesn't look like there are any more questions. So myself and Amanda will head into the separate breakout. So I've put both of those in the chat. Again, academic immersion breakout. Amanda will be in that room answering questions about AIM primarily, and if there's time, RISE as well. And I will be in the summer challenge and summer preview breakout. Happy to talk more about those programs, the difference between them. People often ask if I'm eligible for both, which should I apply to? So we'll talk about all of that, and we'll see you. And anyone who has more questions about high school honors can stay right here with Christina to talk about high school honors. All right, see you there.